In this video, we'll study about the epithalamus. The epithalamus includes the pineal body, the posterior commissure and habenular commissure. First, we'll see about the pineal body. The pineal body is otherwise called as the epiphysis cerebri. It is a midline cone-shaped reddish gray matter, only 3 to 3.5 millimeter in size. So here you can see this is the pineal body or epiphysis cerebri. So when you see, it occupies the vertical groove between the two superior colliculus. So this is the superior colliculus, one on either side, and in the vertical groove in between them you have the pineal body. So this is located below the splenium of the corpus callosum. So this is the splenium of the corpus callosum and it is located below the splenium of the corpus callosum. It has a stalk and divides into two laminae. A ventral lamina or inferior lamina is continuous with the posterior commissure. And then you have the dorsal or superior lamina, and this is continuous with the habenular commissure. And in between the two stalk, there is an extension of the cavity of the third ventricle that is called as the pineal recess. The pineal gland is supplied by the nervus coronari and which consists of the postganglionic sympathetic fibers arising from the superior cervical sympathetic ganglion. Next we'll see the structure of the pineal gland. The pineal gland is a neuroendocrine gland and consists of parenchymal cells. These are called as the pinealocytes. And you have the neuroglial cells. The pinealocytes secrete a hormone called melatonin and the calcium phosphate and carbonates are deposited in the gland with the age in the form of multilaminar corpuscles which are called as the corpora arenacea or brain sand. Next we'll see the functions. The Descartes described the pineal gland as the seat of soul. It is a functionless vestigial organ representing the dorsal third eye which is found in some types of fishes and amphibians. At present, it is considered to be the most highly evolved gland of the body and has the following functions. It has a neuroendocrine activity in regulation and modulation of the pituitary and other endocrine glands, and it is mostly inhibitory. Then it acts as a biological clock for physiological and behavioral control. It secretes a hormone that is called as melatonin which inhibits the secretion of the gonadotropin releasing hormone from the hypothalamus. Thus, it has an inhibitory effect on the reproductive system, that is the sexual maturity. The melatonin is produced at night and its production falls during the daytime. The melatonin probably holds back the reproductive development until a suitable age has reached by inhibiting the secretion of the gonadotropic hormone. Next we'll see the neural pathway for the pineal secretion. So from the retina, you get the optic tract. So from the optic tract, it goes to the brain stem. From here, the superior cervical sympathetic ganglion. So from here you get the nervus coronari and this supplies the pineal gland. Next we'll see what are the unique features. The pineal gland is the only part of the brain which has no nerve cells in it. It is the only part of the brain which is supplied by a nerve which arises from outside the brain. So when you see the clinical correlation, the lesions of the pineal gland are associated with precocious puberty. Next, the calcification of the pineal gland is demonstrable by radiologically in more than 50% of normal adults. It lies in the midline or the mid-sagittal plane of the skull, and it is about 5 centimeters above the external auditory meatus in the lateral view of the X-ray skull. However, sometimes the shadow of the pineal gland is seen slightly to the left, as at this level the right cerebral hemisphere is slightly wider than the left. It may serve as a useful landmark to detect any shift of the brain from the midline due to some space occupying lesions within the brain. The displacement of the pineal shadow indicates towards the site of the intracranial space occupying lesion. The pineal gland and the choroid plexus are the most common sites of intracranial calcification. So this is the X-ray of the skull lateral view. Here you can see the calcification. Next we'll see about the habenular nucleus. The habenular nucleus lies beneath the habenular triangle, which is a small triangular area above the superior colliculus. So this is the superior colliculus. This habenular triangle is present above the superior colliculus and medial to the pulvinar. So this is the pulvinar of the thalamus. It lies medial to the pulvinar. Medially, it is bounded by the stria medullaris thalami and the stalk of the pituitary gland. The habenular nucleus, together with its connection, forms the part of the limbic system. Next, we'll see about the habenular commissure. So, this is the habenular commissure. It connects the habenular nuclei of both sides and crosses the midline by passing through the superior lamina of the stalk of the pineal gland. Next we'll see the posterior commissure. The posterior commissure is a composite bundle of fibers which connects the medial longitudinal fasciculus, interstitial nuclei, the superior colliculi, pretectal nuclei and the posterior thalamic nuclei of both sides. It crosses the midline by passing through the inferior lamina of the stalk of the pineal gland. Next we'll see about the subthalamic nuclei. It is a small nucleus present in the ventral part of the diencephalon, looks like biconvex lens in the coronal section. It is located caudal to the lateral half of the thalamus, inframedial to the globus pallidus. It is separated from the thalamus by a smaller nucleus which is called as the zona incurta. The subthalamic nucleus and the globus pallidus are interconnected by the subthalamic fasciculus which traverse the internal capsule. In the next video, we'll study about the hypothalamus.